We've covered how FNAF came to be, but maybe there are some of you out there in the audience asking, well, what is this game and what the heck is it all about? In this section of the video, I'll quickly answer those burning questions. However, it must be stated we will not dwell too much on speculation and theory talk. That opens a whole can of worms and could lead to an entire video by itself. Instead, we will focus on simply the information given to us by the game at the time of its release. So, here goes. We take on the role of a mysterious security guard named Mike Schmidt, a character since speculated to be Michael Afton. This information is given to us upon the completion of the game, where we see a paycheck featuring said name. Fun fact, the amount on this payslip roughly corresponds to the going rate of pay back in 1993. So while we are not given a definitive year that FNAF takes place in, we can speculate the mid-90s, and given the decor and technology, this seems accurate. As the title suggests, we work the night shift at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a sort of Chuck E. Cheese type establishment, fun for the whole family, complete with bad food and even worse entertainment, in the form of creepy singing animatronics. However, unlike Chuck E. Cheese, these particular robots are possessed by the spirits of several missing children, and now roam the halls of a pizzeria by night, looking to cram any humans they detect into endoskeletons, as remarked by our only companion, Phone Guy.
So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long.
Each of the 5 nights we spend at the pizzeria contain a phone conversation with this mysterious caller. They start jolly enough, but eventually devolve into something far more sinister and creepy.
Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits back there. You know. Oh no.
Fun fact, Phone Guy is actually voiced by creator Scott Cawthon himself, and appears in several FNAF games, as we will see as the series continues. Very little is known about Phone Guy, other than he is also an employee of Fazbear Entertainment and seems to meet a sticky end before our arrival. The rest of the story is pretty vague, and this has led to the creation of many fan theories which attempt to explain what exactly is happening here. We now know the missing children referenced by newspaper clippings throughout the game were abducted and killed within the back room of the pizzeria by William Afton, the man who designed and built the animatronics their spirits now possess. Afton hid the bodies of his victims inside these suits, causing the children to bond with their animatronic coffins and then haunt the building by nightfall. So the objective is to survive 5 nights, with each becoming progressively harder to see through. Night shifts begin at midnight and end at 6 AM. Successfully finishing a night results in the following sequence. Despite Five Nights at Freddy's difficulty being pretty brutal at times, especially for new players who don't fully understand the mechanics, the basic gameplay loop is very simple. Using the mouse, we point and click our way around a camera security system accessed from a tablet in the security office. This tablet can be used to keep track of the various animatronics, making sure they aren't getting too close to our location. If they do, then we must use the electronic doors to the left and right of our room. The wrinkle here is that we have a limited amount of power, and with every action from checking cameras to boarding down doors, our power meter gradually depletes. This means we must only check up on the animatronics and safeguard ourselves when absolutely necessary. Otherwise, the power runs down and Freddy says hello. Once all 5 nights are complete, a 6th and 7th night become available as bonus rounds. These are extremely difficult and intended as super challenges for players who want a little more pushback from the game. Of course, it wouldn't be a FNAF retrospective without a look at the animatronics themselves. As previously mentioned, I have put up a detailed Chica is a yellow chicken, sometimes confused as a duck. She is always hungry for pizza and even carries a sweet treat known as Mr. Cupcake on a tray as a sidekick of sorts. However, the cupcake only ever appears at the beginning of the night and is not an item Chica brings with her while out hunting. Her bib reads, "Let's eat," again confirming her ravenous appetite. During the day, Chica was the backup singer for the Fazbear Band, as she states in her portion of the Showtime song.
Hey, I'm Chica, the lady of the group. My singing is a treat.
So sweet!
But keep an eye on your pizza.
'Cause I'm a bird who likes to eat! Nom 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 nom!
During each night, Chica will attack from the right side of the office. She can often be heard clattering about in the kitchen, which is a good way to detect her presence. If we allow Chica to reach the office and don't close the door before referencing our camera once more, then the following jump scare plays out. In terms of her origins, Chica's design seems to be inspired by Chuck E. Cheese mascot Helen Henny. This makes sense as the restaurant chain was a known influence for the Fnaf games, and so their characters naturally feed into this. Both Helen Henny and Chica are backup singers in their respective bands. Some have also concluded that Chica may have taken design cues from an early McDonald's character called Birdie the Early Bird. There is certainly a similarity for sure. Another inspiration which seems very plausible is the character of Chica from The Chica Show, who is also an overtly happy yellow chicken. Bonnie is a purple rabbit who, despite the name, is indeed male. As you can see from his instrument of choice, Bonnie is band guitarist and proclaims as much in his Showtime song.
Bonnie's my name, I'm hopping along with floppy ears and a cottontail. My guitar is blazing, this rabbit's hair raising. Just listen to me wail.
Take it, Bonnie!
Bonnie always attacks from the left side of the office, moving gradually closer and often hiding in the nearby janitor closet. If he manages to get inside the office, Bonnie will not immediately grant the player a game over screen. Rather, he lays in wait until we bring up our tablet once more and then pounces with the following jump scare. Here are some facts about Bonnie. While developing the game, Scott Cawthon mentioned that Bonnie the Rabbit was his most feared animatronic. In fact, he even had nightmares about him. This was mainly due to Scott using Bonnie as the placeholder jump scare for all characters in the early stages of development. He even stated that he never really found the other three all that scary. Bonnie's origin is believed to derive from Chuck E. Cheese mascot Mr. Munch, and also guitarist Jasper T. Jowls. Next up, we have everybody's favourite pirate, Foxy, a red fox with damage up and down his body, revealing sections of the endoskeleton beneath. Foxy has a hook for a hand and wears an eye patch over his right eye. Unlike the other animatronics, Foxy doesn't roam around the pizzeria by night. Instead, he peeks out from behind his curtain in Pirate's Cove and slowly creeps to the edge of his camera feed. If we allow him to leave the camera, then we must quickly close the door to the left of the office and switch to the hallway camera to send Foxy back to his cove. When switching to the left hall camera, we see the freaky fox sprinting full pelt towards us, something I personally have always found quite unnerving. Sometimes we can hear Foxy singing a rather strange tune from behind his curtain. Take a listen. It is unknown why this singing occurs, making it all the more unsettling. Here are some Foxy facts. Foxy was in large part a creation of one of Scott's children. According to one of Scott's sons, Foxy was created during a road trip to visit family in New York. Scott would ask his children for input into the character designs to add a little extra spookiness to them. Scott also added to these comments by suggesting the reason why Foxy's body is so torn up was due to him being hard to model on a bumpy car ride. Who knows if this is true or simply a joke, but it's undeniable that Foxy's origins are interesting. Foxy is also the only character in FNAF history to date to not jump scare the player by attacking directly into camera, instead appearing in the doorway. In terms of inspiration, 3 characters often attributed to Foxy's design are Chuck E. Cheese character Foxy Colleen, Showbiz Pizza Place's Rolf de Wolf, and, most notably, the dastardly Foxy Loxy from Disney's 1943 short animation Chicken Little. The 4th animatronic is of course Freddy Fazbear himself, star of the show at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As he moves about, we can hear Freddy making spine-chilling laughing sounds. These are actually the sounds of a girl giggling, but slowed right down. Freddy becomes active from night 3 onwards, and as possible. This is because Freddy can only move when we aren't looking at him, so regularly checking the camera feed is a good way to hold him back. If Freddy reaches the hallway outside of our office, he will never leave, meaning we must now keep the doors closed from this point on, and most times this results in the power failing and a game over occurring, Freddy greeting us with the following scare. There are several fun facts about Freddy Fazbear, so let's list off a few quickly. The music we hear while Freddy patrols is a rendition of George Bizet's Toreador song from the opera Carmen. Freddy's appearance seems to take influence from both the 1977 classic version of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza Place mascot Billy Bob, both wearing a hat and bow tie with similar coloration and of course lead members of the band. Freddy was of course the main singer while on stage.
My name is Freddy, I'm the singer in the band. Got a hat and a big bow tie. I'm a big brown bear, but don't be scared, I'm a real fun-loving guy.
Scott Cawthon originally planned for Freddy to be far more elusive and mysterious, only moving from the stage when the power went out completely. However, as development continued, Scott re-evaluated the situation and decided he wanted to make Freddy a far more prominent part of the adventure. Freddy will at times flash up on screen as the Night Guard experiences hallucinations. During these hallucinations, if we pause the action, we see Freddy has eerily realistic and bloodshot eyes. You may notice Freddy has faint handprints on his head and chin. These are likely from the children of the pizzeria, but could also be the bloody handprint of a child William Afton stuffed inside Freddy's suit. A chilling thought. There is one last animatronic to cover, one you might not ever see, even if you've completed FNAF multiple times. A yellow version of Freddy known as Golden Freddy. It is speculated that Golden Freddy contains the ghost of a young girl named Cassidy, yet another of William Afton's victims. In order to access Golden Freddy in the game, we must be extremely fortunate, or unfortunate depending on your perspective. There is a 1 in 100,000 chance of spotting a Golden Freddy poster on the wall of Hall 2B. If we sight this poster, Cassidy can be heard laughing. Switch back to the office at this point and Golden Freddy will now be sat directly before us. A spooky vision that insta-kills the player unless we quickly bring the tablet back up and look away. Fun fact, during one of Phone Guy's conversations with the Night Guard, he references a gruesome incident at the pizzeria known as the Bite of 87.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the Bite of 87. Yeah, it's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?
So it's interesting to note that if we input the AI levels to 1987 on night 7, then Golden Freddy will jump scare us and crash our game. This next section is dedicated to the secrets and Easter eggs found throughout Five Nights at Freddy's. It rewards us with a satisfying honking noise. When switching to camera 5, the employees only room, there is a 1 in 20 chance of the animatronic heads and endoskeleton all staring ominously into camera. Likewise, when checking in on camera 1A, the animatronic stage, at the beginning of each night, a rare instance sometimes triggers where all 3 robot critters become aware we are watching them and gaze right back at us. Every now and again, when switching to certain cameras in the hallways of the pizzeria, phantom posters will sometimes appear. These display newspaper clippings which speak of a hidden backstory we touched on earlier, involving William Afton and the missing kids. There are 4 of these newspapers, and they read as follows. Kids vanish at local pizzeria, bodies not found. 2 local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26th. While video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, the children themselves were never found and are presumed dead. Police think the suspect dressed as a company mascot to earn the children's trust. 5 children now reported missing, suspect convicted. 5 children are now linked to the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where a man dressed as a cartoon mascot lured them into a back room. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has been fighting an uphill battle ever since to convince families to return to the pizzeria. It's a tragedy. Local pizzeria threatened with shutdown over sanitation. Local pizzeria Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has been threatened again with shutdown by the health department over reports of a foul odour coming from the much-loved animal mascots. Police were contacted when parents reportedly noticed what appeared to be blood and mucus around the eyes and mouths of the mascots. One parent likened them to reanimated carcasses. Local pizzeria said to close by year's end. After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it will close by year's end. Despite a long search for a buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. These characters will live on, in the hearts of the kids. These characters will live on, stated a CEO. What makes these reports creepier is another rare secret, again a poster that can appear on the wall of camera 4A. It shows a group of crudely sketched children, all screaming and wide-eyed. These are almost certainly Afton's victims calling out from beyond the grave. One final Easter egg you might catch on the very same wall is the mysterious line, "It's me." Again, this seems to be from the ghosts of the fallen children, in particular the child trapped within Freddy Fazbear. Finally, on rare occasions after receiving a game over screen, or booting into the game for the first time, we see an ominous face appear. The face belongs to Bonnie, and sits on our screen for approximately 10 seconds before the eyes eventually light up. We then find ourselves back at the main menu. This super creepy Easter egg is randomly generated and has only a 0.1% chance of appearing. As we close the curtain on today's video,